Meeting to order. April 13th, 2026, the school board meeting. Verification of meeting posted. This meeting was posted in accordance with all open meeting laws. Attendance roll call.
Chris?
I'm here.
Terry?
Here.
I'm here. Lori?
Here.
Tracy?
Here.
Kevin is here. Bob is absent.
All right, if we could all stand. And Tracy, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? We will be going into closed session, but we will be coming back, so I apologize. There's going to be a brief recess. You guys can just hang here for a minute. Any other discussion for the agenda? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. A vote for closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85, sub 1, sub C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically associate principal hire. Motion. Second.
Who first did?
I didn't say anything.
Lori first.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right, in discussion, we will be right back. We're going to run into the room and we'll be back.
Roll call?
Yes, roll call vote, please.
Chris?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
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 Lori? Tracy?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. We are in closed. We'll be right back. We are back, and we are going to move into recognitions.
All right. Well, this is always one of my favorite opportunities that I get in this role, is a chance to recognize the excellence that our student athletes and our students get to do, not only in our building, but across the entire state. So our first opportunity tonight is to celebrate our varsity cheer team, who recently competed at the state championship, where they earned first place in the all-girl traditional, and then second place also in cheer dance at the 2026 WACP Division I varsity competition. So if we could have our cheer team please come forward.
You're fine, you're fine. Yeah, do those, but I'll read it from here because I can see the glasses. All right, welcome and congratulations. So I'm going to read through one of these. You guys have been through this so many times, and then I'll just read your names. Okay, so Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Madeline Schneier for her contribution to the Muskego High School cheer team, achieving the exceptionally high honor of placing first place for all-girl traditional small and second place for cheer dance at the 2026 WACPC Division I Varsity Cheer State Championship. Now I'm just going to read your names. Alexis Wright. Brianna Wilson. Carolyn Roberson. Nothing. All right. Naya O'Connor. Haley Belkunis.
She was in track.
Multi-sport superstar athletes.
Riley Hermeling. Hermeling.
Yes.
It's like stage play. Finley Wolf.
She is at her first job.
Warriors career ready and awesome. Yes.
Amelia Horner. Marliana Yeager. Did I say it right? Marliana? Rihanna Fierro. Begatera. Have like just normal Mary, Sarah. Right. And these are for our coaches. Muskego Norway School Board presents this certification in grateful recognition of the Muskego High School cheer coach, Kelly Peters, for her exceptional dedication, mentorship, and commitment to excellence. Under her leadership, the Muskego High School cheer team achieved the outstanding season, earning first place for all girl traditional small and second place for cheer and dance at the 2026 WACPC Division I Varsity Cheer State Championship. Alyssa Przboka. Oh. You don't want this one. Catherine Laverack. Congratulations.
Well, again, it's so fun to get to celebrate these, but we get these celebrations. This is the easy part for us. We know the countless hours of hard work and dedication that you guys invest. Like, it is amazing to me the number of times I've been in that building late at night, and you guys are still working so hard, or you're in the weight room training. So thank you for your dedication. Like, truly, these situations are earned. Sometimes I feel like in Muskego we get a little bit spoiled because we have such high expectations of, oh, this is just what happens. This isn't what happens everywhere. It happens because of incredible hard work. So huge shout out to all you guys and to our coaches as well. Thank you for your time and dedication to this. Coach, anything you want to add?
Thank you very much for inviting us here and giving us this honor, and always treating cheerleading as every other sport and activity in the school. We respect that. So,
We are
thank
very
you.
proud of that, and I apologize. There was going to be a chance. Apparently, you guys were going to like lift me and toss me.
We practice. Off
Thanks,
season.
Andy.
Off season.
Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
You guys go check.
I don't care, whatever.
Let's go.
I don't know. Double layer if you want.
Double. Oh, there we go.
Are we down? Are we holding it? I'm holding mine. Wait, are you?
Let's go, Warriors!
Okay.
Congratulations, you guys.
Black paper.
All right. Next up, we will be bringing our first time ever Classic 8 Coach of the Year, Mr. Joe Britt, for our boys hockey team.
All right. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of the Muskego High School ice hockey coach, Joe Britt, for his outstanding leadership, sportsmanship, and dedication to the Muskego High School ice hockey team in achieving the exceptionally high honor of receiving the Classic 8 Conference Coach of the Year, presented today, the 13th of April, 2026.
This is one of these accomplishments that as well I think is something that is understated. We run a co-op program which involves how many other schools? 14 other schools. So oftentimes being a head coach of a program that's in a building brings communication challenges. Now imagine working with 14 other school districts, trying to keep all the families informed, students happy, all the ducks in a row. How you've built this program into something that is a pride within our community is really something to be grateful for. So I get to walk in and I see his little kids also go to Bay Lane. So when I see his son, I was like, how's hockey going for your dad? And it's so adorable the way his eyes light up. He's so proud of his dad. So these awards are special to us because it impacts a lot of students, but I never want to minimize that every hour you're spending at the ice rink are hours away from your own kids or your own family. So thank you for the sacrifices you make for that. So I'm grateful for you.
Congratulations.
Quick picture. Good side job. All right, so our next up is, and I want to get it up just so I get the appropriate name, it's from the NARI outdoor competition. Give me just 1 second. So this was from the National Association of the Remodeling Industry Next Generation Trades Challenge, where schools were given an opportunity to come up with an idea. I believe it was the backyard challenge, how you could make your backyard awesome, which seems like a pretty simple task. And then you got to see what our students chose to do and what our fearless leaders chose to do with this program. The outdoor, and what was it actually officially called? Man cave, like whatever it is, it was like so envious seeing what they've built. It's actually still out there. The person who won the raffle still hasn't picked it up yet. It is so incredible. It is so beautiful what was done, and getting a chance to see what other districts put together, what their teams put together. It was humbling to see how much we outperformed other schools. And no disrespect to them, because they also worked really, really hard. But truly, I hope you students have so much pride in what was built there. Not only did it represent you, but it was a representation of our entire school district. So it was a few years back where our community said yes to invest into our tech ed program and to take our facilities from arguably one of the worst in the state to one of the best in the state. We didn't have the opportunity to do things like this a few years back because we were crammed in a really small classroom with very limited space, didn't have the tools and opportunities. So when we were at the table dreaming about that space, these were the kind of things that were out there where people said, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if? You guys are living that if, and you've made our entire community proud. So thank you so much for your hard work for that. So if we could have our students please come forward, and our coaches please come forward.
All right, I'll read through one and then I'll just read your names. Hopefully I'll get them okay. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Mason Sanders for his contribution to the Muskego High School competing in the Big Backyard Build-Off for the NARI Next Gen Trades Challenge and earning first place for the Golden Tool Belt Award at the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show. All right. Skylar Krieger. We'll get one of you. Landon Lyman. Caden Rommelfinger. Hi. Charles Gunville. Jackson Radish.
They're all at the track meet.
They're what?
Is that the track meet?
At the track meet. It's a nice day for one.
You went the wrong. Yeah.
Hayden Schmolt.
I got you.
Samuel Cole. Dylan Bauer. All right, and our advisors, Ryan Anderson. Congratulations.
And a little bit about our advisors. So Tom is one of our teachers up at the high school, and Ryan is the director of buildings and grounds at Muskego Lakes. And the time and the efforts that they poured into this as well, like during school, after school, making things flexible so he could be away from Muskego Lakes to be here to support our students. The skills and talents you guys brought to the table were an inspiration to our students. And the other thing that limits other places' ability to have students grow this much is having the expertise and the investment from leaders like you. So thank you for being role models in every sense of the matter. Like truly you are having a huge impact. So very proud of you guys as well.
Yeah, go on, I'll be on the end. Congratulations.
Thank you guys. Did you need more pictures?
I can get in I got all over here.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations.
Congrats, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. The number of student athletes who were to be recognized that were off competing in other competitions right now, lacrosse, track meet. We've got great kids.
Let's give him That's awesome.
Plus a job.
That's awesome.
We just caught in that there's a new school record at the track meet happening right now. Dylan Alry, senior 6-inch PR jump 6'6".
What? Wow.
Anyone? No one said no? Okay.
Who won? Who won that?
So,
On yourself and
I wanted it.
I did too.
Julie wouldn't let me.
That's what I said, I already tried to let us see that.
Darn it, Julie.
Now Kelly and Sam.
Okay, moving on, public comment. There is nobody signed up for public comment, so we will move on from there. On consent agenda, motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Oh, second. Gosh, Lori, mine.
Any discussion, or does anyone want anything removed for individual consideration?
All good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Student representation.
all right.
You are?
So
Oh,
Todd is going to give it to me.
I'm going to do my best to have the same enthusiasm. So again, I'm always impressed because it is lengthy. So first up, our amazing elementary schools over the past few weeks. The 3rd and 4th grade students at all of our elementary schools have been showing all that they know on the Wisconsin Forward exam. Baylane and Lakeview's girls on the run teams have had their first practice, and they've begun their journey towards being able to run a 5K. Baylane's Destination Imagination Fine Arts team placed 4th in the regional competition and is heading to the state competition. We're so proud of them. Students at Lakeview have been working hard towards the 1 million minute challenge, reading challenge, excuse me. Lakeview's kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade students shone brightly at the spring music concert, and their 3rd and 4th grade peers will be performing in the spring concert in May at the high school's PAC. Mill Valley is gearing up to continue the tradition of the community garden, and this is a tradition that is carried on from Muskego Elementary, where each classroom plants and takes care of one of the garden beds. And then in the summer and the fall, the fresh produce is harvested and donated to the Muskego Food Pantry. Other exciting spring activities at Mill Valley include the 4th grade Girls on the Run team. 4 Destination Imagination teams competed at the March 14th, and our 4th graders will get to perform at the PAC on March 20th as well, similar to our other elementary schools. For our middle schools, the Lake Danube National Junior Honor Society is hosting their Make-A-Wish Spaghetti Dinner on the 30th. They will be raising money through a pasta dinner and raffles to donate to a Make-A-Wish child. Lake Danube will also be having a fun and action-packed night of Siege paintball this Friday. If anyone is interested, is that open to others? Because might be
There's only
something.
one slot left.
Oh, okay. This is a fun opportunity to put a bullseye and run through the middle school students. Sounds like a plan.
All you.
Muskego Lakes, the Little Mermaid performance was absolutely outstanding, and just a huge shout out to all the actors, the stage crew, and the staff who made that happen. It really was an incredible performance. For our high school, our juniors and seniors had an amazing time at prom this weekend. Everyone was responsible and safe, and a huge thank you to the Student Council for hosting such a great event. And our MHS Drama Club is excited to host and present their performance of Julius Caesar this coming week. And our spring sports are now in full swing. As you heard, our lacrosse team out there, softball is off and flying, track meet's happening tonight, boys baseball is off to a great start, as is softball, and boys lacrosse as well. It's a lot of action. Girls soccer also is off and going. So that concludes our student report.
All right, now moving on to the superintendent report.
All right, first up, we have our incredible crew here to present our technology and tilt update to the board.
Ryan, you have our slides.
Oh, that's great.
Who has our
Lori's got our
slides?
slides.
Oh, thanks, Lori.
Every year, I'm like, you know what, I can do your guys' part if you want, and apparently they don't want me speaking for them.
That's fair.
That's
They're good.
Hello.
Very nice.
We are your librarians, and we did learn at the high school. This is Jenny Reed, who made it to our second year, guys. Yes, snap. So also at Baylane Elementary, Mill Valley, Lakeview, Muskego Lakes, and Lake Danube middle schools. So here is the Future Ready Librarian Framework. So the Future Ready Librarian Framework is a nationwide framework that does help us evaluate our program, and it gives us a guide for what we should be spending our time on and how we can make sure that Muskego is doing the best that we can in comparison with other districts and across the country. And so it helps give us a guide, where should we be spending our time, what should we be focusing on. So last year, and where the bulk of our time is spent is actually in that top wedge with curriculum, instruction, and assessment. But this year we thought it was important to focus on personalized professional learning, and they define it as leads and curates learning experience that builds educator capacity in multiple literacies, critical thinking, and instructional technology. And this year we have really focused on AI and have done various professional learning around AI, and we wanted to highlight that for you today.
So at the beginning of the year, before school started, we offered a prompting workshop to all staff on the PD days. So it was optional, but we did have people from each level come, and they learned about prompting and practical applications and just how they could get started with AI at the beginning of the year.
And then our administrative staff as well was able to come to that.
And then in the last 2 months, we've gone to each elementary school and the high school, and we've just reviewed the policy with them, our AI policy that's on the website, best practices, and then we did some application with them and showed them just some examples of how they can save time and they can use AI in their classrooms. So we are actually going to do a demonstration with you guys too that we did with all of the staff.
So you can see the fun. So this is the site EDU Gems. So it's created by Eric Curtis, who works at an equivalent of a CISA in Ohio. So he was one of the keynote speakers. We were able to bring this back to our teachers, and a gem is a prompt that is made for you. So teachers can just plug and play in what they are. So today, we would like to do an interview with an AI character. So we're going to ask for some participation now.
Critical thinking.
Think about a person or character that you would like to interview, and an interview question. Lori, do we have the keyboard? Is that the keyboard and mouse?
Oh, sorry.
No, we'll do it.
We can
Do it? Yeah.
So for an example, like the elementary schools, they picked a literacy character from some of their readings. I don't remember exactly what the high school picked for their character. At Mill Valley, they did Jackie Robinson because they were doing biographies. So you could pick a historical person, a current person, anyone.
Okay, so who would we like to choose?
For me, it would be Florence Nightingale.
Okay, great. We will do 9th grade. Sure. I know, I swear I have
You can
20/20
get up
vision.
real close if you want. That's good. For what age?
9th grade?
9th grade?
Okay. Hello, I am ready to be your virtual guest for your classroom interview. So thank you, I am ready from this point forward. I will be speaking from the perspective, personality, and knowledge of Florence Nightingale. The interview may now begin. What question would you like to ask?
What was hand washing like back when you were practicing? When you were practicing?
When we were practicing.
Typing in front of us is a death.
That's no pressure.
I know. It is a pleasure to speak with such a diligent group of students. You ask a vital question, for while the concept seems simple to you today, it is a matter of life and death during my time, particularly during the Crimean War. When I arrived at the Barrack Hospital, so you can see it goes on. And
This is so good. I want to talk about the foul smells.
So the doctors believed in the monastic theory. So a follow-up question could be, could you define the monastic theory for me?
That's because we're watching.
I know, it is. That's what it is. Certainly, it is a concept that may seem quite strange to you in the 21st century, but for most of my life, it was the leading scientific explanation for how people became ill. So then it goes through. So we wanted to demonstrate to teachers that AI can be used. Thank you, Larry. Oh, yeah, that's our slides. How it can be used within the classroom to give kids an experience where we're not outsourcing our thinking.
So that was a fun example, but of course on the EDU Gems website there is an option for like social stories. So if teachers are trying to go through a scenario with students and talk about that, there is DOK leveling, there are ACT prep questions. So all the fun aside, of course, like the goofiness, there are some really helpful options for teachers too to just start to look into if they don't really know where to begin.
Because our teachers have the knowledge, but we want to give them the tools to make it go easy. I know what an ACT question should look like, but how can I speed up the process of writing it to make sure that it's formatted correctly? Then, at the high school, when Principal Bablinka talked to us earlier in the fall, or talked to the board earlier in the fall, he brought up the Building Leadership Team, or BLT. So the BLT team was really integral in coming around, what do we want AI to look like at the high school? When should students have access to it? What does that access look like? And how can we make sure that we are assessing learning and not just having our students outsource that learning to AI? Because we know that their brains are so malleable. We want to make sure that we are assessing what they are thinking and what they are learning, and how can we do that? So we did some professional development around how to use AI effectively in planning, just like we did at the elementary schools. And then the BLT team really came around, how can we have teacher-controlled use of AI in class? And so we talked about that and what it means. And then we came up with that common classroom and handbook language. So when you approve the handbook this summer, this is what you will see, or these are the additions that we have in draft form right now. Of the 3 different focus areas that we'll start using with students. So restricted, you can't use AI. It's going to be assumed that unless noted, all assignments should be done without AI. So that is the restricted level, that's kind of like common practice. Then focused is where there are certain ways that you can use AI, and that is defined by the teacher for the student to check in with. And then permitted means that you can use AI in whatever fashion you have because the project calls for it. Because there are some areas of our school that really can use AI to their benefit. You have to learn, you have to go. Like really advanced math problems, they can diagnose. Our tech ed department is really using AI. Our English department would like our kids to not use AI, right, and think. Okay, so there's just those ways. So that is what we are working on and coming together with around the high school and working together to make sure that our kids and staff and the whole building is on the same page when it comes to AI use.
Can I ask what source you're using for citations? Because I see it to be properly cited, because that's the thing, I do a writing intensive at the college level, and they are clueless on how to cite work.
So in general, we use MLA formatting, and the MLA handbook is coming out with different ways to cite AI, and it is ever changing. So that's why we want to, whatever properly cited means at the moment, what our teachers are deciding to do. And that even varies within different class levels, because sometimes it'll be like, I use this AI or I use this prompt. It's looking different in different spaces, and that's something that we will, I guess, the reason to put it in the handbook and the policy here is so that kids know that it should be cited. And then we have to work on what that looks like based on current practices.
With your unrestricted ones, when I've gone to conferences where they've talked about AI, they say really almost you should be evaluating their prompts and what they're actually putting in, because that will actually detail whether or not they're comprehending the content.
So how we have it set up right now is that AI is blocked and the teacher has to unblock it for that class period. So it is not unblocked on their Chromebooks at home. That doesn't prevent them from using their phones, right? So again, something else that we're trying to work on. So how much work is that now done in class when we are looking and go into those prompts?
Also from a technology lens, most of, if not all of those prompts are actually recorded, so teachers can actually look back and look at what they were writing in the prompts and see how they got there.
Yeah, that's good.
Isn't there like websites where you can paste what's in AI
Turn it
into it in, and there's always hidden characters in there that you know that it's AI?
Turn it in, does it?
Oh, yeah, as far as like the recognitions, AI cannot detect AI. They say they can, there's a million claims saying that they can detect it, they can't. It's not possible from an algorithmic standpoint. It can take an educated guess, it can get to like 80–90%, but it will never be accurate, it's 100% accurate. What those detectors are really good for though are starting the conversation, right? Like, this looks like it was AI generated, let's talk about it, let's see what, if it was or not, we can discuss it. It starts the conversation.
What I like about it when I use it is that it'll take all of the coursework that the student has and then figure out like how that person actually communicates. And then when it turns in the work, they're like, you don't normally talk like this. Like this is not you. So I think that's kind of a cool feature.
Another way that we're doing professional development is in the staff newsletters. So it's a passive way, but we can hit every staff member that way. So you can see there, that is the high school, we call it the pedagogical pearl that Brian loves, that I called it that. That's what we're looking at. So at that high school was learning coaches and me, and then our tech mentors took turns putting in the staff newsletter. And then it's also how we use our tech mentors at the other buildings to add in different tips as we go along. So just different ways that we're trying to touch teachers to keep professional development up.
So last year we talked with you about curating digital resources, so we just wanted to give you an update. So some new digital resources that we have added this school year through the library are ClickView, which was added K-12, Newsnomatic was added 1-8, and Novel Effect was added K-12. We're constantly looking for resources where we can support curriculum and be fiscally responsible. So like ClickView could potentially take the place of Edpuzzle, which is something buildings are paying for, or Newsnomatic could take the place of NewsELA. So we're just looking for those ways we can support curriculum through our budget. And then just some statistics. So Sora is our ebook and audiobook platform, and we've added over 1,000 books this year, and we've had 191% growth in checkouts on that platform this year. So it's becoming really, really popular. And then paper books, we've added over 19,000 across our K-12 libraries this year. And we've had over 126,000 book and equipment checkouts, and that does not include Chromebooks. So in our 6 libraries, numbers are looking great.
So that's how we hope to be a future library, future-ready libraries. Any questions?
Do you have a question back to the AI-related stuff? Especially in the high school level, do you talk through or do you discuss or do the teachers discuss the need to vet the information that AI is providing to ensure that it's accurate?
So yes, that would be part of any lesson that we would have, that you would define and like make sure that what is coming back to you is good.
Okay.
And as you're going through, so that would definitely be part of a lesson. I would say that we are working our way towards using AI for lesson creation. I would say that it is more like just a discussion right now of like how this is impacting us and where we are going with it. And I think our teachers are really sharing with students as well when they are using AI and how they are showing their learning and their thinking. So like if you can show like the AI slot, like if here's what I use and then AI slot came up like this way, so this is why this was a poor prompt, would be a great way to teach kids too. So part of the policy, right, is that you have to be transparent in your use of AI. So that's what our teachers are doing. So when they're using AI, it's more like, hey, I used AI to do this, and how we're going through. So that's part of the policy and part of our practice that we are doing.
Okay. All right. I think the one concern that I have is that while yes, it's definitely become much more usable and more accurate, there are still times when I use 3 or 4 different ones for work, and almost daily I'm finding pretty significant errors in what it returns. So.
And I would say that that's why we chose to have AI be teacher controlled when it is open on the Chromebooks. So I think that takes away some of that fear and that expectation that unless I'm giving you those explicit instructions to use AI, you should not be doing it to show your learning and show your work.
All right. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. They have been incremental in AI rollout there, because AI is all technology and then teachers are obviously teachers. They bridge that gap perfectly. So thank you guys so much for all your work on that. Where are my bullet points? Oh, there.
We had the challenge setting on, sorry about that.
Oh, I didn't know it was staged. Technology, he's going to technology guy. So we'll take a quick look back at some of our current projects. We'll go through our current statistics, take a little brief look at cybersecurity, and then take a little glimpse at our future projects. I'm gonna keep it high level. If you guys have any questions or you want to get into deep on anything, just let me know. We can take a gander. From last year's goals, those are the pieces that we were aiming for the last school year and kind of blending into this school year. We started out in improved communication platform. In short, that's Fair and Square. I think we talked about that we were moving away from Infinite Campus, mainly due to the phone portion not working last year. People were getting 12 phone calls or no phone calls or 3 phone calls. We actually used it this year for our snow day. I don't think anybody noticed because everybody got 1 phone call and 1 text, and it worked. So we'll move over to that completely over this summer, and then by next fall, we'll hopefully have that in place and ready to roll. District Cybersecurity Incident Response Plan, I think I talked about that at the last meeting. I think you guys saw that. We just put our cybersecurity insurance application in, and I got to cite that, so hopefully that'll bring our costs down for the cybersecurity insurance. It can't hurt anyway, I hope. Infrastructure replacement cycle, that is our switching and our routing. We are at the beginning of our 10-year replacement. With the current budgetary concerns, I put that on hold. We don't really have a choice right now. We'll see where we can go the next year or the year after, but the switches are 10 years old. We'll replace them as soon as we can, but don't have it right now. AI rollout, I don't really have to go into that. Emily and Jenny took care of that for me. And what I didn't put up there last year was the managed detection response. This was something I didn't want to put out there until I was sure we were going to get it. So I found a grant that allowed us to elevate our regular antivirus to the next level, which would be a managed state. I'll go into that in a couple of slides, but that is basically what this last year entailed. So some of our current statistics, we ran, this is from a technician standpoint, our 3 technicians ran through 1,267 help desk tickets with an average closure time of 24 hours, so about once a day. We have a new technician that started this year. His name is Brian. He works at Muskego Lakes and Bay Lane. He's doing fantastic. Education's a little bit funny from a technology lens. I'm always kind of curious how they're going to adjust, coming from a business world, but did great. Chromebook statistics, we are actually down to 728 Chromebook repairs this year. That's down about 400 from last year, which I love, because out of those 700 Chromebooks, we repaired 60% of them. Last year, we repaired 40%. We were aiming for 50%. By us, I mean our students actually repaired them rather than us having to send them out for repair. They fixed them in-house, which ended up not costing us anything. And they got to learn how to actually repair a Chromebook. Those are the statistics of actually what is wrong with the Chromebooks. So does both middle schools. If you take a close look, you'll notice that it's all screen, mostly screens, keyboards, touchpads, all the touch points from, I'm going to grab this thing, I'm going to throw it across the room type deal. Luckily, most of the actual devices themselves have been pretty stable. Motherboards have been pretty stable. All the memory has been pretty good. It's the usage that most of the repairs come from. This is the managed detection response. So the big difference between our old antivirus and the new one is somebody handles the response for the incident when it occurs. Out of our malware threats this year, we had 154. We had 46 last year, so we're more than double. The amount of cyber attacks has increased obviously dramatically, almost threefold. So with only having 3 technicians to respond, if we had a cybersecurity incident, the antivirus would lock it down, but somebody still had to respond to it. Well, they're at multiple schools, so it could take them all day before even if they dropped what they were doing and going to the device, it would take them hours to get there. With our managed response, I don't know, it's probably AI or partially AI, but there's a response at a national level where they lock it down and investigate it. The average response time is under 10 minutes. Which was timed perfectly with the dramatic increase in incidents that we brought that down to 10 minutes. And we have nothing that was actually gotten loose or outside of the environment. So it turned out really well programmed. Really happy with it. By the way, hack tools, that's just us internally. Nobody tried to hack the tools. What's coming up? What's next? I think it's going to be a big one is the ADA digital compliance. So we are set to the Federal Disabilities Act mandates that at October of 27 that we have to be digitally compliant for phase 2 of their rollout, which means that all of our public-facing websites and our public-facing documents have to be in a have certain requirements met, meaning they have to be able to read by a screen reader, they have to have certain contrast levels, so we're going to have to redo all of our externally facing documents. I think it's going to be a lot of time. We're still working on a plan for that. We have a year to do it, but we want to kind of get it in front of teachers before the end of school so they can start planning their next other lessons for fall when they come back. AI expansion, I think we're just getting into AI. I think we're breaking a lot of new ground, and I think we'll just continue expanding that. The application approval process and the alignment of devices are kind of together. So one of the things that we learned with AI is there's a lot of promises about how we don't use student data, but they do. So we found out pretty quick that we have to look through the legal requirements of all these AI platforms because there's age restrictions in place for them. We also found that a lot of companies that we have been using are doing the same thing. They're saying, hey, well, this is actually 13 and up, but we're using it at the middle school. So we are going to have to start an application approval process where everything's going to have to get vetted from a teaching and learning standpoint and then a privacy and security standpoint to make sure that it meets our standard that we want. There's a couple of side benefits with that, and a lot of times we have a lot of multiple versions of the same program that do the same thing. So we can kind of consolidate those and have one program that does this for the entire district, and then get benefits of budget benefits out of that. And the alignment of the devices is very similar in that we have a lot of different devices doing different things. So I think we're going to try to standardize all the different devices that we're using to what is actually needed, rather than this needs this or that needs that. All in all, that's kind of it in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions?
So like when you're saying the forward-facing stuff that's ADA compliant, are there tools that the teachers will have that will, like whatever document they're in, will be able to convert it so that it's compatible?
Yes and no. So from like so we're vetting the tools right now. It's too many for us to do from a department, so teachers will have to do their own.
Right.
The tools, there's two types. So the website, there'll be a tool that'll tell them what's wrong with it. They have to go in and then adjust the website to make it compliant. PDFs are going to be the big problematic one, because PDFs are not readable in their native feature. So they have to be either converted or eliminated. A lot of school districts right now are actually just going away from PDFs completely and just putting everything in Google. Because PDFs, for the amount of time and money that it's going to take to pull everything down, convert it, and put it back up, it'll be hours and hours. So I know like CISA said that they're not doing anything with PDFs anymore, and some other school districts as well. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder too about like just file sharing and stuff like that, how much you have to regulate for that too.
If it's internal to internal and it doesn't go to public or a large group, then it's okay.
Then it's okay.
If anything that's public facing, that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And then unfortunately includes newsletters and any affiliate. So like if there's a club that's affiliated with us but put things through our website, that has to be compliant as well.
Okay. And then like the tools that the schools use, like Samore and stuff like that, are they already ADA?
Depends on the tools. Sport, I think, is pretty good about it. The new one, Parent Square, for example, they have a checkbox where we can enforce ADA compliance upon creation.
Oh.
So it forces you to put all the headers and contrastings in there. That one will be good because we're starting from scratch, so we can just turn that on and they won't know any different. But for ones like Sport, they'll have to be adjusted.
Okay.
There's no grant, I'm sorry, there's no grandfathering any of old documents, you have to change everything.
Correct, yeah. That was all the meetings that we went to, that was one of the bigger things that they were saying, because everybody was like, oh, we don't have to touch archives, right?
Yeah.
You have to touch it all.
Mhm.
If it's seen, we have to make sure it's compliant.
Okay, thank you.
That's the first time a question ever came from over here.
Yeah.
So
I tried to hold them back.
Andy, get a hold of them.
It's interesting, it's a lot.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah.
And I guess public facing on the website, does that include like Google Classroom?
Yeah. Yeah, that was going to be that one I think won't be too, well actually Google Classroom will be fine. It's the documents that are shared via Google Classroom.
Yeah.
That's where the teachers will have to kind of see what they're pushing out and then either have it without that, but they conform.
But would, this is all, so we'll go on that.
Is that a law just for school districts or is it for like health and everybody?
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, GPI just pulled their site down, they're pulling their site down soon to do theirs. Some people are missing it.
They started.
Did they start?
Yeah.
Some are, depending on population, they were mandated to do it by this April, like today.
Right.
Our community population is under 50,000, so we have another year. The
Oh,
bigger the population, the smaller one we have.
all right, it's good to be small.
And maybe technology will come up with a way to make it more, close the gap on that. Like, we have a year for that, so maybe AI comes with a platform that.
At least the first week, and whack about 50% of the work right now.
And that's today, so by next year, hopefully.
Good
A
luck.
lot of work.
If anybody wants to help,
Good luck.
thanks everybody.
I will help.
Oh, you're helping.
I'm thinking that's good for like disciplinary actions maybe from the high school, you could say.
Students.
In detention.
Yep.
They'll never do anything wrong.
That goes wrong. All right, well, thank you guys very much for your hard work. and
Thank
update
you.
on that.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the superintendent's report, I really appreciate Jeremiah Johnson's leadership in spearheading the process, and he's going to give us a brief update on our vacant land.
Yeah, so for a couple board meetings, we've talked about the potential of severing off some land both at Muskego Lakes Middle School and Mill Valley. So Mill Valley is along Racine Avenue, just south of Fleet Farm, so it's really become a commercial corridor over there, and some folks believe it's pretty marketable. And then the back 40 essentially of Muskego Lakes, we did have the opportunity to build a potential residential neighborhood. We do own a home, as we've shared in the past. That home is pretty dilapidated, so it would benefit us at some point to sell it, even if it was just the home itself. But we do have to maintain a drive that's like our emergency drive lane that accesses the school. So we did have a surveyor delineate all the properties, so Muskego Lakes is now broke down into 3 properties versus 2, being the house and the school. And then Mill Valley is now broke down into 2 properties as well, and that's been approved by them. So the next step would be to come forward to you guys after we've talked to legal counsel and ensure that these properties aren't needed for the school district, and you guys would have to declare that this is excess, no longer needed for educational purposes.
Chairman, just so I'm just clear on these maps, so the page 1, lot 1 and lot 3 are the 2 that you're talking about, not lot 2, because that's where the school is.
Yeah, I'd probably be in trouble if I said
Okay.
lot 2.
And then on page 2, that would be bad. Page 2 is the lot that's on Racine?
Page 2 is just a zoom in of
Of lot 1?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and so then the one that you're talking about for the one on Racine is the one on page 4?
Correct, yep.
And it would be lot 1 on there?
Yep.
And not lot 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact, you used a Muskego High School graduate to draw these up. Michael Casey.
Fun working with them.
My only question on this, so if we do go forward and sell this stuff, how does the money get to the district? So like, what can it be used for how long?
So the sale of any property just goes into this, it would be like assumed fund balance, right? Because it'd be revenue in above and beyond any expenses that we had, so it would be allocated to fund balance to be able to be used wherever the board would wish.
Just for that year? Or do
No,
we can
so
save it?
the benefit of using the sale of any property proceeds in the same year is that there's no tax impact if you're spending as much as like if you're overspending your budget, but you got additional revenues to support it.
Yeah.
There's no tax impact, so there is a benefit. If you wait until the future, depending on where we are in the equalization aid formula, there could be a tax impact depending on how we used it and how much we used. It could also be put into Fund 46 for future capital project utilization, or however the board would wish to do it.
Chair Maloney, on lot 1 by Muskego Lakes, is there the pond in there? Where's the retention pond in that?
The pond stays on our property.
It's on
just
lot 2.
to the left of the school.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? All right, then the last item in the superintendent's report, just an opportunity to say thank you to Miss Katrina Beck, one of our Spanish teachers. She recently authored a white paper that was published in a professional journal. The article, Experiencias y reflexiones sobre el español para fines específicos. Thanks, Andy.
Good job, Sam.
Examine Spanish for specific uses. In the article, she utilizes her experiences with our Spanish for Business and Healthcare courses to frame out high-leverage instructional practices from both a secondary level perspective and a college level application. So tonight in our educational services meeting, we were talking about how our world language is under review, and they were reviewing white papers from around the nation of best practices. It's pretty awesome to know that some of our own teachers are some of the folks writing those papers, that even some of the post-secondary institutions and UW La Crosse, for example, one of their professors reached out to Katrina to learn more about what she's doing because they were very intrigued with the practices. So just really proud of that team, and the fact that they're contributing well outside of Muskego is something to be very proud of. So that concludes the president's report. superintendent's report next.
Oh. Is it like some kind of portion?
Nope.
Back off a little bit.
Did Jason talk already?
Sit down.
Even they left out.
You've been
They don't want to see what's about to
you were the
happen.
student, the superintendent, you're like everybody, now you think you're new. You can do the rest of the meeting, that's fine.
You're doing it gay after that.
All right, other reports, president report, just congratulations to Bob and Jason for being re-elected. We had no doubt. We're glad to have you back on the team. And second clerk's report. And we will administer the oath to Jason. Is there anything that they have to read specifically for the clerk's report?
I think just the oath is.
That's it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then just noting that the canvas is in there, but I don't think you need to read it off.
Okay. All right, so yeah,
Yeah, just
attached in there is the canvas of the vote. And Tracy and Jason.
Sweet.
I won't do it, Chris.
Please
It's me to
stand.
read the whole thing off and have it repeated.
Thank you, I
I'll
appreciate
break it
that.
down. All right. Can you raise your right hand?
Yes, I can.
please? I, Jason Zimborski,
I, Jason Zimborski,
having been duly elected to the office
having been duly elected to the office
of the school board member for the Muskego Norway School District,
of the school board member of the Muskego Norway School District,
but have not yet entered upon the duties therefore,
but had not entered upon the duties therefore,
swear
swear
or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will do Bob's separate. Jason will catch up with Bob to do his separate, but we will do a big one at the next meeting, just so we can do one for him at the meeting. All right, board member reports. Chris?
Just congratulations to Bob and Jason on the election.
Jason?
Happy to be on for another 3 years.
Lori?
Ditto, congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And CISA had sent out updates for their meetings. I have a meeting tomorrow that's in person, which kind of highlighted some of the students that are in their schooling getting scholarships and stuff. So that'll be kind of fun tomorrow because they do a little honor for them.
Kevin?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to committee reports. Educational Services Committee report.
The committee met before the school board meeting. We had a lot of stuff that we discussed, and there will be minutes posted. Do I go home and take them?
Policy Committee report, they were, and since Bob's not here, I'll just read that. I'll be Bob, unless you would like to be Bob too.
Well, they do sit next to each other, so.
The committee reviewed Neola's special updates, Update Act 57, their last meeting, and I believe there's some policies that we're going to be approving yet tonight. And business services.
We started discussing the WASB contract and its renewal, and we'll bring it back for another review at the next committee meeting with potential alternatives. I believe we've also got a date scheduled for them to attend a committee meeting to talk through.
May 18th.
May 18th, thank you. And we also discussed student and family handbooks, which very nicely done, synchronized. So, thank you.
Standardized.
Yes.
All right, thank you, committee people, lots of work. Okay, moving on to resolution action items. Neola policy revisions, special update Act 57, policy 1213 mandatory reporting of sexual misconduct, policy 3213 student supervision and welfare, and policy 8462 child abuse and neglect.
Motion to approve the Neola changes recommended by the policy committee as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2026-27 budget.
Motion to approve the 2026-27 preliminary budget assumptions as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Thank you for
Alright, so-
pulling this together.
Oh, you're welcome. The budget that we are building is based on the assumptions that were put into board docs. We are in the second year, this will be the second year of the biennial budget. So we do have some idea of what's in law right now, but there's still a lot of conversation at the state level. Something just came out today as well, how they're hoping to get closer to some resolution on how to spend the budget surplus at the state level. So it could be tax credits back to taxpayers. It could be something to help reduce the overall property taxes. There is a big push to continue fully funding the special education aid, which as of right now was written into the budget this current year at 42% and is coming in about 38%, and then 45% next year. And in the assumptions we built in like 41% because it's never as much as what they promised. So we're hoping to see, I use that word lightly, hoping, we are building it very conservatively, so in the event we don't get these additional funds, we will have a balanced budget for you. But in the event that we do have these additional funds, it just provides us additional revenues to bring in for our system. So just going through quickly on the preliminary budget assumptions page, the expenditure assumptions we listed for health and dental insurance, 15% for health and 3% for dental. We've done utility increases by 2%. Salary increases are built into the budget based on the compensation models that exist for both support staff and certified staff, but also aligned to CPI, which is 2.63% this year, according to the WERC. Transportation and fuel, we have a 5% increase. We are going into the third year of our 3-year contract, so we know that amount as far as what our transportation increase will be. The fuel, we've seen about a 5% increase. So we will be coming back with a transportation proposal this year also for the next couple of years. As far as revenue goes, we are running the assumptions based on the increase of the $325 per pupil. We, as of right now, have no increase to the state equalization aid for the current biennial budget. No increase in categorical aid, and that's the per pupil categorical aid of $742 per student. We are budgeting the 41% for special education reimbursement, not 45%. Open enrollment funding for our regular ed is at $11,030 and $14,882 for special education students. So we built in the increase to the dollar amount, but we did not build in an increase for students. So any students above and beyond we have now will be additional support for the budget. We are running all 3 scenarios of what things could look like if we have flat enrollment, a decrease of 50 and a decrease of 100. The next page that we'll look at, I did build in the decrease of 100 because that creates the biggest budget strain for us, and so we want to be sure we're capturing all of those expenses as a result of that. And then, again, we try to continue to look at keeping the tax levy as low as possible. However, the way that the state has changed funding over the last couple of years, we are relying more on taxpayers to provide those increases in our revenue overall. We will not know the final allocation of equalization aid until October. We won't know our third Friday count until September. Our property valuations come in October 1st from the Department of Revenue. And then the shared costs themselves that kind of fit into how we fit into the equalization aid don't come in until September, October. So all of those items are still up in the air as we continue to talk about the budget. But again, these are just the assumptions that we're building that budget to bring forward to you.
For the 15% for health insurance, is that coming from somewhere?
It is an estimate right now, based on what we've seen the last couple of years. We continue to have conversations with our health insurance company. They're running numbers As of March, there was an uptick in March for us, so our goal is to have those percent increases finalized by June, so that we know for open enrollment in July, people have the option to see what that looks like. But 15% right now seems pretty reasonable based on where we're at.
Okay.
Hopefully it's less.
Yeah,
Much less, but. So the standard across the nation is at 10% no matter what, right?
sure.
And then it's just how you're running as an organization.
Right.
Utilities, I have a quick question. We Energy's is kicking around another rate hike for next year and the year after, and it's averaging 10% if they get it passed. How close were we on our utility this year?
Pretty close. Working with Jamie and Julie today just to try to squeeze where we could to buffer up specifically the high school. And we also got hit pretty hard with gas costs, which was separate from the energies this year. There was a major constraint. So we're trying the best we can to squeeze every dollar we can. Even not even having air conditioning on in the schools until May 1st. So things like today be kind of tricky.
So it's more mitigation and management to try to avoid, or at least kind of defray the expected potential increase.
Yeah, that's part of it. And then we can also, as we continue through the summer, if things change, we can make adjustments in that area as well.
Okay, all right, cool.
When will we be looking at open enrollment numbers? Is that like June, July?
Starting May.
The next meeting?
Our seats are communicated, families have applied, meaning May 1st is when we begin to start to accept family. I think it's May 1st. So that's when we can start communicating to families. So again, it's interesting, so many pieces of the budget puzzle aren't known at times when you're trying to really solidify things. So our fill rate historically has been around 60 to 65% of the seats we offer actually fill. We're hopeful and optimistic. We've opened more seats than we have in the past to try to offset that decline in enrollment. We did more communication and subtle advertising this year, so we do have more applications than we've had in the past. So there's a level of optimism that we'll have more. So, but we won't really know. And then the other tricky part is, unfortunately, there are times where you get families who accept a seat and then school starts and they decide that they're not comfortable with the 30-minute commute they have to school to drop their child off, and then they get back to work, and then 30 minutes at the end of the day to come pick their child up, and then sometimes they change their mind after a day of school. So there's been some unique nuances that are a little disappointing to experience the last couple of years.
Do we fill that then? We can.
We try, yep. So we have a wait list.
35
It's just really unfortunate if a family doesn't choose to really make an informed decision about the nuances of the amount of time it might take to commute. And I understand it's a family decision, but feels like you might want to look into that before you submit an open enrollment application, because then if they change their mind at that point, our fill rate really goes down as you get closer to the school year, because oftentimes families have just accepted, I'm on the wait list, so I may not get a seat, and then they go to the open house at their resident school, and sometimes they're less likely to change their mind at that point. So, but Jamie Gleason does a great job tracking down families, and our building administrators do a great job bringing folks in for tours and setting the stage to welcome them. And
Kirkland is just starting to break ground for houses.
yeah, and I had heard that there was a hang-up on some levels with something in, whether it was the permitting or construction, that some costs were, again, I apologize, I don't know the exact, there was a hang-up of some sort, so there was some additional costs that were being transitioned on to the builders, which were then being transitioned on to potential home buyers, so not moving as quickly as we'd like.
Okay.
It's okay. We got my kids coming into the
This is
school
true.
district.
And we will take it in.
They must have
Honestly,
got a house in a mosquito.
This process, as everyone knows, is painful. No one wants to be in a situation where you're declining enrollment and being in back-to-back years where we're having a reduction in force. For what it's worth, I do feel proud of the way our team has approached this, using our strategic plan as like the backdrop for every decision we make has an impact on kids. And we are making reductions not because we want to, but because we need to have a balanced budget. And that is a hard part of whether it's public education or private business. This is the way the world works. the way our teams at each building and from the district office has sat down and looked at every single thing we do. Where are there spaces where we can try to conserve some dollars to continue to reinvest in the things that we believe are the highest impact on our students. So we'll continue to share more information about that in the May board meeting as well, with where are those places where some of those adjustments have been made. But just for a district that prides itself on taking care of its employees and staff engagement, this was a very emotional spring for folks, and it feels odd to say, but I'm proud of the way our staff has responded to a very difficult journey. Like, their love for the work really shines, but in some ways that just makes it even harder. But they're still continuing to do awesome work for our students, and appreciate the team's efforts to continue to find a way to balance a budget.
Any other questions for Julie? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Gifts, grants, and bequests.
Motion to approve with thanks the following donations: Lakeview Elementary School Rimrockers performance valued at $1,000, and Rachel's Challenge keynote speaker $160 anonymous donations, $500 from St. Leonard's Christian Formation, $750 from Muskego Lions Club, $40 from the Gowan family, $200 from the Cusick family, and $150 from the Foss family.
So moved.
The anonymous donations are a representation of St. Leonard's School District.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. You will find discussion items, information follow-up there, and then we are going to go back into another closed session. We will be returning for a vote after the closed session. So, vote for closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85 sub 1 sub c, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically contract non-renewals.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Chris?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
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 Lori?
Yes.
Tracy?
Yes.
Kevin?
See.
We are in closed session. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.